What up guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most requested topics I think that I have had on the channel so far. People would like to know more specifics about my race car, specifically the power plant, so I am going to dive into a little bit of that today. I'll be sure to leave all kinds of links down in the description in case you want to check out some of these companies or manufacturers that I talk about throughout the video. To be honest, that's a little bit up in the air as to what engine's actually going in my race car for the 2019 season, but I will talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. Real quick before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that there are still some of the Dragster Silhouette Gallstar TV t-shirts available. Head on over to gallstartv.com if you're interested. If you enjoy the content on this channel and you'd like to support the creation of more videos, that is just one way that you could do it. I really appreciate it. They're a very cool shirt, and once they're gone, they're gone. So get them while they last, you guys. gallstartv.com, link in the description. All right, for the last 3 years, I've been running the same exact setup in my race car. That is a alcohol carbureted 434 cubic inch small block Chevy. It puts out about 700 to 750 horsepower. I have to put a little asterisk beside that because I have not dynoed this motor, so I don't know. That's just a guess based off of what the old man's car runs and what my car weighs. We're just thinking it's in that range somewhere. The car that I run is a 235-inch wheelbase M&M Dragster. M&M is a company out of Gleason, Tennessee, and their cars have some extremely trick features, including a Zeusless seatbelt clip attachable removable nose cone, which is freaking awesome. Built-in get-out handles, LED light built into the gas tank. It even has some aluminum skate wheels on the bottom of the frame, so in case you like bottom out with the long wheelbase, you bottom out on something that has these little aluminum skate wheels on the bottom of the frame, so you make sure you don't damage your frame or rip off any of the zip ties or anything that you have going on your bottom tubes. The car weighs 1,555 pounds. We purchased it brand new in 2006, drove all the way down to Tennessee to pick it up, and I'll tell you what, we've been doing nothing but going rounds with it ever since. I really can't say anything negative about the car. The car is awesome. The only thing that has happened was that chassis cracking issue that I had happen earlier this summer, but to be honest with you, I cannot blame that on the car at all. I'm pretty sure that it's just pretty much at fault of the track that I normally race at and how rough the return road actually is. It's definitely my thoughts as far as how and why that happened to the car. But seriously, you guys, if you are interested or if you're seriously looking for a new race car, a new dragster, take a good hard look at M&M Race Cars, Gleason, Tennessee. They make some awesome race cars at a pretty great price point too. They just keep making more and more of those cool improvements over the years, and I really wish that I could have a new M&M car. I should also probably say that this video is not sponsored by M&M Race Cars, but it totally should be. Justin, give your boy a call. Long Motorsports out of Mitchell, South Dakota put together the Power Glide transmission in the car. That is turning a set of 456 gears, as well as some 15-inch American Racing wheels with a set of Mickey Thompson's 33 by 16.5 15-inch Mickey Thompson slicks. Now, for 2019, there may be some changes to the power plant of the car. We might be going away from the 434, and it's not going to be big. It's going to be very similar to what I've been racing, and we haven't even made the decision yet. So a lot of this is going to end up being determined after we dyno that motor, and that's going to be happening here in about a week. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to check out the dyno content. So people might find this as a bit of a surprise, but we're actually considering putting a smaller engine in the car this year. That's right, we're looking at doing a 421 cubic inch small block Chevrolet. In case you're wondering, a 421 is a 155 inch bore and a 3.875 stroke. The 434 that I was running was the same thing, only it had a 4-inch stroke. So 434 a little bit more torque probably, and this 421 we're hoping a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more on the top end. All right, so a little background on this 421. My old man found the block from an old NASCAR application. He thought it would make a great bracket motor because a lot of the millwork was already done and it was a good piece, but as we came to find out, there's actually quite a bit of non-desirable things about the block. First of all, the cam tunnel was oversized to like 1.875, so that made the camshaft extremely difficult to get built since it was such an odd-sized journal in there. The block was milled down quite a bit, so the piston to deck clearance was 20 thousandths. I guess the piston came out of the hole 20 thousandths. I guess that's the opposite of clearance. What's the word for, I don't know what that's called. It came out of the hole 20 thousandths. So it was actually a couple, you know, non-ideal things about the block.
I would like it more like 0, yeah. You're taking advantage of all the compression you can that way. You know, this way we're coming out, so now I gotta use you gotta have so much clearance regardless.
Yep.
You need to have, we usually run like a 40 thousandths thick gasket because that's kind of the bare minimum of what I'm willing to put it together from hitting the head. Well, now it's coming out 20, so now I got to run a bigger gasket. Well, the gasket bore is bigger than the hole, so I'm losing a little bit there.
Sure.
It's kind of, there's other things involved too. They call it piston quench. It's how the piston comes up against that head. There's areas where it's totally flat, you know, and then there's the chamber to open it. Well, it wants to shove all that air over, and that's all got to work right too. And a gasket being over there is different.
Sure. Yeah, gee whiz. We ended up with the heads off of an old comp eliminator setup, and they actually flow some pretty impressive numbers for a small block. So of course my dad has had the itch to put this thing together for some time now. So starting from the top down, we're gonna be trying out race gas on this engine. We have a 1050 Dominator sitting on top of a Hogan's sheet metal intake. The heads are a GM 615X. Of course, they've been milled to 13 degrees. This is a 13-degree motor. They actually flow some pretty impressive numbers, as I mentioned before, so that's why we're thinking this little 421 could actually perform a little bit better than the 434. 385 CFM at 800 valve lift. I think that's pretty impressive, at least compared to the heads on the 434. I think they flowed somewhere like 315 or something like that. Being an old comp eliminator setup, the heads also have some pretty trick features, such as some Del West titanium valves. Again, the block is a GM bow tie block housing a Howard's crank, Callie's connecting rods, and a brand new set of diamond pistons. Comp Cams built a camshaft for this motor, but only because they were the only place that had that odd size cam core for the weird journal size that I mentioned earlier. The camshaft was actually designed by Butch over at Howard's.
Actually, an old guy at Howard's designed the camshaft for me, and he didn't have any cam cores to fit this weird thing. Comp was the only one that had them, so I gave them the specs, and they said, yeah, we'll grind it however you want it.
So Howard's designed it, but Comp got the money.
Butch designed it for me. Same guy that did the one in the 434 that picked it up. Oh, Butch.
Thanks, Butch.
I like Butch. Butch does not give you a cookie cutter camshaft. He does it how he thinks it should work.
And it works.
So far, if this
Butch,
one...
Butch works at Howard?
Yeah.
So get a hold of Butch at Howard's.
He's an old guy, though. I mean, I don't think he's there all the time. I think he's one of the original. He's an OG.
We love Butch. So this motor has a 4.7 swap. What is the reason for that? Why would you want that or not want that?
Supposedly it makes more horsepower that way.
4.7 swap does?
Yes. What you're doing is changing the firing order of the engine. And I think it's because of, on the intake manifold, drawing all of it this way. You know, if you just got done drawing one on this side, then you draw one over here, the air, so that it doesn't just keep leaning out one side.
Sure. It smooths out airflow in your intake manifold, theoretically. Look at those gnarly header flanges cut on the laser. 3/8. They're a little thicker than normal, but they're homemade. The old man welded these headers together. They look pretty good. So that's just a quick rundown of what's going on at the Gall Racing Headquarters this winter. Like I mentioned, we don't even know what motor is going in my car for next year yet. We're hoping for some great results on the dyno next weekend, so hopefully that will help us make a decision on how we want to move forward towards the 2019 season. Let me know down in the comments, how much horsepower do you think we can get out of this little 421 next weekend on the dyno? Let me know down in the comments. If you're the closest comment to the correct amount of horsepower, Vera's gonna tell you what we're gonna do. That's right, we're gonna pin your comment. So get your guesses in down below. I'm hoping that the first digit, I'm hoping it starts with an 8. That's what I'm hoping. I appreciate all the support on the channel. Go ahead and check out those sweet t-shirts over at gallstartv.com if you're interested in supporting the channel and the content that I'm making on this channel. As always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing, all the things. See you guys in the next one. Later.